Welcome back to Sacred Rhythms. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to interrupt the way that I have been going through the liturgy in the order that it comes in the service in order to tell you about something really extra special, which is happening at Holy Trinity this Sunday. This Sunday is Palm Sunday, also known as Passion Sunday. And the Palm Sunday worship service is a deeply moving worship service that helps the worshiper transition from regular Lent into the deep mystery that is Holy Week. And the Palm Sunday service begins differently from the ones that have gone before it. Now, of course, there's a prelude, but even the prelude lets you know that this Sunday is different. Then we have the dialogue for Palm Sunday, followed by a reading of the processional gospel, followed by the blessing of the palms. Everybody lifts up their palms and their palms get blessed, followed by the usual Palm Procession as the children and worship leaders come in bearing palms in the processional. Now, in our congregation, as this is an aside, our members use what's called teepee. You can get it at the florist, which looks a whole lot more like palm than those strips of palm branches that a lot of congregations use. We get teepee from our wonderful florist, who also makes really special arrangements for us for Palm Sunday as the altar flowers. And there are no flowers in the altar flowers for Palm Sunday. They make the arrangements using only palms. And after we sing All Glory, Laud, and Honor, which is the usual processional hymn, and all of the worship leaders are in place, we go straight to the prayer of the day. And then, after the prayer of the day, the pastor, who is not going to preach a sermon today, goes to the pulpit to issue an invitation to the congregation to enter the mystery of Holy Week, to enter the events of Holy Week. And this is so ancient. In the 300s, about 380 something, a nun named Ageria went on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. And what she saw there during Holy Week absolutely knocked her socks off. And so she wrote an account of her pilgrimage back to Jerusalem, or back home where she was from. She wrote an account of her pilgrimage to Jerusalem, where liturgical worship was already in 380, was already in its very early stages, and many of the worship practices that are considered traditional by congregations today were already in place. They were already celebrating Palm Sunday and Maundy Thursday and Good Friday and, of course, Easter as a big Sunday at that very early date. They were also celebrating Easter Vigil and Easter. Beginning with Palm Sunday, worshipers actually enter into the mystery of what Christ did to save us. We walk through Holy Week with Jesus. We don't just remember these events. The liturgy helps us participate in them. But liturgy does that. And it's been doing it for a really long time. After the invitation, we move to the New Testament reading, and then comes the verse, and then comes the reading of the Passion, the whole Passion from one of the Gospels, the entire Passion. This year it's from Mark. Now, although actually at Holy Trinity, we don't read the whole Passion. Now, we did for many, many years. With the LBW, in came a little booklet that you could put in your bulletin, and everybody had parts, and you had readers play parts, and you had parts for the congregation, but frankly, it seemed like play acting. We did it for years and years, but it seemed like play acting. It didn't grow on us. even though the denomination had provided us with these great bulletin inserts of the Passion narratives that we used to play act the Passion, but it always felt like play acting. The congregation was supposed to shout, "Crucify him," at certain places, and some years they were supposed to say, "Let his blood be on us and our children," and the congregation just didn't feel real worshipful doing that. They never complained, but we could tell it seemed more like play acting than worship. But they never complained. But then Jackie, our wonderful director of music, suggested that we go back to the really ancient practice of having 3 cantors chant the entire Passion, having them chant it. And we thought that was a great idea. So that's what we have been doing for a number of years now. We made sure to get cantors whose words you could understand. And lots of people follow along the entire Passion in their pew Bibles. To involve the congregation in the chanting of the Passion, the same way that they were involved when we were play acting the Passion. At selected places, the chanting stops to let the congregation sing a verse of "Ah, Holy Jesus." And the chanting stops at 5 selected places, which allows the congregation to sing through the entire hymn inside of the chanting that's going on. It's really effective. Then at the end of the Passion, we have a silence, which is followed by the hymn of the day. And the hymn of the day on Passion Sunday is "O Sacred Head Now Wounded." That's the hymn of the day for Palm Sunday. And now we are in Holy Week. And we feel like we're in Holy Week. And we feel ready for the Triduum and Easter, which I'll tell you about next time. The rest of the service for Palm Sunday continues like any Holy Communion service, except at the distribution we always sing, "Deep were his wounds and red," which is the only Sunday of the year when we sing it. "Deep were his wounds and red." And then after that, because it's only 3 verses long, we sing, "Jesus, remember me. Jesus, remember me," all the way through until everybody has communed and the communion service has been covered back up. I love this service. And what I love about it most is the way the liturgy just gathers the entire congregation, and it gathers them together, and then it moves the whole person into the events of Holy Week. It's almost as if Palm Sunday, the Sunday of the Passion, were the first act in the drama of our salvation, a drama that we participate in every year. We are part of the events of our salvation, but that's what liturgy does. I love liturgy. I love liturgy. Thanks for coming. I will see you soon. And next time we'll be talking about the services of Triduum and about Easter. But for now, thanks for coming to Sacred Rhythms, and I'll see you soon.